It's World Carnivore Month, and you are on the carnivore diet. You're getting results. How can you be that support and encouragement to others? Happy New Year, everybody. This is Kelly, the Broken Carnivore. Welcome to the channel. I am back from the mission trip. It was a blessing to go. It's something that I have the passion for. This was my fourth build on building homes for people, families in Mexico. And of course, I felt better this time than I did. I wasn't 100% because I noticing that I have physically a shorter leg than the other. So the good thing about being on carnivore was I didn't have the arthritis pain. I didn't have the arthritis, but that pain that I got on my left foot was so much pressure because the plantar fasciitis was just flaring up, and my right hip. This morning, as before I made this video, I noticed that one leg is physically shorter than the other. So this morning I put a lift in to lift the right foot up and hoping that this will help out, because I know in my area we got an upcoming snowstorm, and when I go back to work, I'll really be working doing snow removal, and pretty much most of the day that's where I'll be, is getting the property ready to be safe to walk on. So my results on this trip, the weight, I did take the scales to weigh, and it didn't go my way, but I didn't gain inches. That was a good thing, but I did gain some weight, but it was from fluid retention from riding in the van for 10 hours a day. And then not only just one day, but 2 days, and then working mostly on your feet most of the day. Yes, I had to sit down to take a little break here and there. But to get the pressure off my hip and off my foot. And so I had to sit down and take a break. But other than that, I had muscle mass, and when I started out on the days on the build, yeah, it was great. I felt good, but halfway through, because of the unbalance I have, and with the shorter leg, I started having the little bit of a hip pain, a little bit of the left foot. But the good news is I didn't gain any inches. But on the last day of the build that night, I'm going to tell you the truth, I did eat one meal that the cook served. Only reason I ate it is because I ran out of the ribeye steaks, dehydrated ribeye steaks that I planned. And I did do some briskets, which I will not dehydrate brisket anymore, because that was a huge fail. To me, brisket, it needs to be slow smoked, slow roasted to get that tenderness. Dehydrating it is a big fail. I'm not doing it again because it was terrible. I ended up throwing it away. But the one thing is I did eat this meal. I knew where it come from. I knew that it wasn't fried in seed oils. It was baked. Yes, it was carbs. It was some kind of taquito thing that the cook served, and I had that. But that was the only cheat meal that I had, because when you're out there all day, and yes, I could have fasted and not ate that, but when you're out there on the build, it's this time of year, it is hot. It's hot this time of year. Normally they're in the 60s and 70s this time of year, even though for my area it is very nice. But when you're on the build, you're tired, you're tired, you're sore, you're stiff, you're hungry, you're going to eat. And the one thing about it is like, you got to have the mindset, okay, if I'm going to do this, I have to make sure that the next day that I'm back on, because I knew that we were crossing the border back, we're traveling back home, and I knew, okay, now I need to get back on track. Now, but, with some other people that are struggling, it was hard for them. And this is why my subject today is why I'm talking about this. And if you want to, blow up in comments and saying that I did it wrong, that I cheated, that you got to start over again your count, I'm not going to do it. I'm very grateful that I don't have that big of addiction on food. I don't have a food addiction. I just love food. Now I'm going to tell you the truth. Sugar is addicting. And if, in my old days when I was eating sugar and carbs back 5-6 years ago, especially sugar or added sugar, you said a box of Debbie snack cakes, I call them fat cakes, but Debbie snack cakes, especially the peanut butter bars, I'd have the whole box ate in an hour. That's how bad sugar's addicting. And I know my addiction level because I used to smoke cigarettes. One time I smoked up to 2 packs of cigarettes a day. And when I did hit up the addiction of chewing, I chewed a can a day. I'm very lucky that I am sitting in front of this with a perfectly face. I'm going to consider myself not blessed, lucky, because I could have had mouth cancer from all that chewing. I could have had lung cancer or throat cancer or whatever from smoking that much cigarettes at a young age and eating a poor standard diet. But I know my addiction. And there's some people out there that has a food addiction, and food addictions are real. And we don't know why, we don't know why people handle it different. And that's one thing is we have to be encouraging. We have to be the support and the encourager and accountability. We cannot nag these people. You don't know. I don't know what they're going through, what psychological issues they went through, what abuse they went through. If you want to know the truth about food addiction, you need to go look at the TLC, My 600-Pound Life. Some of those people, they just probably just like me, just ate food and they love food. We all love food. But there's some people, because they had mental problems or they had psychological problems from mental abuse or physical abuse or sexual abuse, that they turn to food for comfort because they know that the food they don't abuse them. They don't say the nasty things. They're not sexually abusive. So people turn to food. And the one thing that I was disappointed hearing in the last week or two, that many of you out there was nagging people that are struggling, even the YouTubers. It takes a lot to get in front of a camera to admit your problems. I'll tell you, I failed. I could have fasted, but I failed. But also I had the mindset say, this is the only thing I'm going to do and I'm going to get back on it. And I did. But there's people out there that are not like that. They have a struggle. Sometimes they got to have a therapist. And, let's be encouragers. Let's support one another. That's what we're here. And when I hear the people getting trolled on, people are getting nasty emails about, you're not doing this right, or people being told you're not doing carnivore right. If it's working the way you're doing, it's working good for you, don't change it. I've been doing carnivore. I do coffee every morning. I did do a 30-day challenge with no coffee or tea. I'm back on drinking coffee. I drink 2 cups of coffee. I didn't see much of a difference. Of course, I also cut down the coffee drinking from having a 12-cup pot to a 4-cup pot. Basically, I have 4 cups a day, which it equals 2 of my mugs, a cup and a half. I have that a day. I don't have no more coffee. And so I didn't see much of an effect on it, neither with the tea. But some people do have that. Some people do see the health optimize. But when we're trolling on people, we're telling people you're not doing carnivore right, or you're just using this as clickbait. You don't know what those people are going through. There's people out there watching us. If you're a YouTuber or you're one of those that are trolling or going and nagging people and saying they're not doing it right, or saying, oh, you're clickbait, can I say something? Please stop. Let's be encouragers. Let's support one another. You know, if you're that struggler, you're struggling, that you have this addiction, let email me. I'll link my email down below, and I'll be glad to be a support and encourager, because at the end of my channel, I always say, let's be kind, be positive, have good attitudes, support and encourage one another. That's my slogan at the end. I might have mixed the encouraging and support backwards, but that's my slogan. And I do that all the time, because the one thing I don't want to do is to be that discourager. I don't want to discourage people away. And yes, it's great to hear about the success stories. There's a lot of success stories about people on Carnivore, but also we need to also hear the other side of Carnivore too. We need to hear about the people who are struggling, why they're doing Carnivore, and why they have a food addiction, or why, what's triggering that addiction. And those people that are doing that, they're putting themselves vulnerable, because maybe this will help someone that's in my same boat. And I know there's 2 channels. If you're that struggler, email me. I'll definitely email my link down below, but I highly encourage you to go to Carnivore Quest and go to Carnivore Kip. I highly suggest, if you're struggling, go to those 2 channels. They will show the truth of what struggling is, and their battles and their challenges, what they're going to do to come back. They may have failed. I failed. Everybody fails. I don't care if you're the most successful person on Carnivore. Everybody fails. So let's be the encouragers out there. By talking about being encouraging and supportive to others on Carnivore, this comes in my mind. This is what Jesus said it in his own words when he was doing the Sermon on the Mount. It goes into Matthew 7. I'm going to read verses 1 through 5. Do not judge others, and you will not be judged, for you will be treated as you treat others. The standard you use in judging is the standard by which you will be judged. And why worry about the speck in your friend's eye when you have a log in your own? How can you think of saying to your friend, let me help you get rid of that speck in your eye, when you can't see past the log in your own eye? Hypocrite, first get rid of the log in your own eye, then you will see well enough to deal with the speck in your friend's eyes. Let's be the encouraging. Let's be supportive. I am very grateful that I can get to do this. And, I don't want to be that hypocrite. I do not want to be that discourager. And the thing is like, we YouTubers that's doing this Carnivore, we have to be very, very careful, because if we don't show but one side of this, how great Carnivore is, which we all know Carnivore is great. The diet is great. It's considered a lifestyle change. And that's one thing about Carnivore. You have to think about it as a lifestyle change, but we can idolize it, and we could easily judge others on it, and how, oh, you're not doing it right, or you're doing it the wrong way, or you can't have this, or you can't have that. It doesn't matter. What works for you the best? If you have coffee with Carnivore, great, do it. If you have a little bit of dairy with your Carnivore diet and you're getting great results and you're not getting the pain, the arthritis, whatever, great. Leave it. If you're doing the Lion's diet, beef, salt, water only, that's great. Or if you mix it with coffee and it's working for you, do it. It's whatever works for you. It is you that's changing your life. All we are going to be is the encouraging and support. But there's also people out there that does struggle, and we have to make sure that we support and encourage one another, and be accountability, and say, how can I help you? What can I do? What resources can I show you? What channels that I can show you to do. I'll give you tips. Another good channel to And she has her email out there if you need help. She is a health coach. Her name is Lily Kane. Go to her channel. I highly suggest that because she helped me because I was just struggling just a month ago that I was stuck. I was plateau. I wasn't gaining. I wasn't losing. I was doing everything I can, and I didn't know what I'm not doing right. How can I get this? And I remember that she talked about a protein, how much protein cheat sheet. And so I reached out to her and emailed her about, hey, I'm struggling with this. I don't know if I'm getting the right amount of fat. I don't know if I'm getting enough protein. I don't know if I'm getting too much protein. And I noticed you had a cheat sheet. Can I be able to get that cheat sheet? And she does email back. She's a great person. She's a great coach. And I highly suggest to go to her channels. Go to Dr. Barry. He's got wonderful information about what to do, the mistakes, what not to do. It's great. And the other thing is, the other thing I highly suggest, go find a community. I am part of the Carnivore Quest community on Facebook. I'm also part of a community that's through healinghumanity.life, the one that Carrie Mann helped form. I'm part of that group. There's many others. Dr. Barry has one. Chris Cooking Nashville created one. There's many communities out there, and I highly suggest if you're struggling not only to seek whatever help you need to achieve and overcome so you can have that great success story, that how I overcome this addiction, how I overcome the battles, what caused me to have, to break the habit, to break the addiction. It'd be great to go through there. I'm thinking about starting a community on Facebook, because when I started sharing my results and sharing my story, even though I'm not to the maintenance part of carnivore where I'm still on the weight loss journey. I'm hoping my goals this year to be, by the time I get to 365 days on carnivore, that I am either close or at my goal weight. And it's easily to achieve, but also, there's battles, there's obstacles and stuff in the way, but no matter what, we fail, we get right back up and we go. I think the biggest failure is giving up. And then one thing is no matter what, if you're not seeing the results, or you're struggling, or you're discouraged, I'm going to tell you this: don't give up. If life knocks you down, the struggles knocks you down, the food addiction knocks you down, get right back up, dust your knees off, and go. I am so grateful to be part of this community. I'm so grateful to be here and share my story and my encouragement to others. I'm grateful that others can encourage me. I am thanks for watching. And if you like this content, hit like, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to share this to your friends and others, go for it. I am be truly blessed to share it. Y'all have a great day. God bless. The one thing that I do have a passion for is serving God in ways that He calls me. And the one thing I have a passion for, not only serving Him through doing the builds down in Mexico, but to be that encourager. And so I'm going to leave you a little bit of what I had the passion for to serve God by building these homes. Y'all have a great day. God bless y'all.